Mom's Quarantine Kitchen, where it's been one hell of a week. And I'm gonna swear because it really has been more than a heck of one. So, you know, this is a place where we keep it wild and not real perfect. And today we are so far from perfect. I want to welcome you to just let it go. Also, disclaimer, if your children watch this, thank you. But for this episode, I need some wine because it's been a really hard week, as I said. I don't know if you know this, and I know you know I'm gluten-free, but I'm also from Minnesota. It's been a really tough week in Minnesota and for many places around the country. And when things get tough, do you know what we do? We bake. So that's why we're here. I figured I'm not in the best of, states, but it's very important to bake. We got to keep going. And the most important thing is that today we're doing some bars. And I have waited to kind of explain to you about the bar phenomenon. And so now we're going to. So let's ask that robot lady if she knows what a bar is. Alessandra. Argentina. What is it? Athena. Hey son, can you help me? Son, are you hearing me? I gotta Google it or something. I'll be right back. Hey Alexa, what is a bar?
According to Wikipedia, a bar is a long raised narrow table or bench designed for dispensing beer or other alcoholic drinks. They were originally chest high, and a bar, often brass, ran the length of the table, just above floor height.
Okay, so that's enough, because that's not what we're... Alexa, stop. We are not talking about that kind of bar, okay? The bar that is of the Midwest kind is out of this world. If you go to the Midwest, I'm talking Minnesota, Wisconsin, maybe Ohio, I don't know, definitely Iowa, and probably the Dakotas. If you go there and you say, what kind of bars you got? They're not going to say, we got a bar that's chest high for alcohol. No, they're going to be like, here, what kind would you like? I can give you 15 pages of bar types. Pecan cherry, peanut butter, chocolate pecan, and carrot, and magic, and grasshopper, and raisin oat bars. I mean, there is everything. You throw whatever you want into a bar, add some chocolate and sugar, done. So today, check out what we're doing because it's this time of year. We are doing rhubarb brown butter bars. Now, brown butter does not come from the Midwest. We're gonna make it. And that's a fun little process too with some chemistry involved. So there's two parts to this. I've never made these. The jam part of the bar, you can use some sort of citrus zest, sugar, salt, freaking vanilla bean. Have you ever opened one of those things? Because that's what we're doing. Wild. And then the rhubarb, which you can get at a farmer's market or maybe your backyard. Oh, we got a rogue kid. Whew. Okay, she does not want to go to bed, that one. You know, it's late night baking, so. All right, and then we got the bar stuff. This is from the New York Times. You'd think that it would be really pretty sophisticated, but they just call it assembly. So I'm gonna call it bar stuff, all right? And we're gonna be mixing some nuts, butter, flour, oats, brown sugar, white sugar, soda, and salt, like your typical bar essentials. You can use whatever kind of nuts you want. They recommend pecan, almonds, or, well, hazelnut, or blanched hazelnuts, raw pecans, and or blanched almonds. I'm going with pecans. Oh. Okay, so let's go. So I'm Susan back in the kitchen, and we have a second before our dishwasher keeps going. We are not perfect, and you know that. So here, quickly, I'm going to show you what we've got. We got the cut rhubarb, about 4 cups. We need that. Half of a cup is separated. I don't know why yet. We got some grapefruit, which I have already zested with my microplaner. We've got some butter, which we're going to brown in a second, which is really cool. And then we've got our sugars. Oh, and don't forget, do you know what this is? This is a vanilla bean pod. I don't know if you've ever seen one. You slice it down the middle, and then inside it looks like cigarette ash, but you can see the tiny little flecks of vanilla. You get that in that fancy ice cream. So we're gonna scoop all that out. We're gonna cook it up with the sugar, the rhubarb, the citrus, and the zest, and that's the jam. Okay, let's do it. And here we go. Woo! I'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. And there she is. That is satisfying. Compost. Okay, so this is juice from 1 grapefruit. And I'm gonna use half of it because the recipe calls for half. Again, I don't measure. We're gonna put in the grapefruit juice, the sugar, the zest. Now, by the way, this recipe calls for hibiscus flowers. No, thank you. I am not running to the store to get those right now because this is a crisis. So you use what you have in your house. So check this out. Do you see all these little things? We're gonna throw the whole thing in anyway. We're gonna boil this only until that sugar is dissolved. So, while you're waiting, just make yourself a cocktail. I don't know how that's gonna be, but we're wild here. So we got some, the leftover grapefruit juice and a little bit of Chris wine. It's a Pinot Grigio, one of my faves. Oh my goodness, the smell is just amazing. You can use orange too. I just happen to have a grapefruit. It smells like Christmas right now. I'm telling you, only it's June. We just want that to boil a bit, 45 seconds it said, then we're gonna turn in the rhubarb. Add in. Told you, we're not perfect. Now we're adding in the rhubarb. Make sure you don't splash yourself with that hot sugar mixture. Now this is just gonna cook down for about 10 to 12 minutes. Here we have our lightly browned nuts. And we're gonna do this fast because I have rogue children who walk in on the set and that's just not cool, especially this time of night. So these are pecans, as I told you. We're gonna take them out of here. You know what? Save yourself one. I have the best ever dessert that's like on the fly. If you have somebody that can throw you a jar of Nutella, you have like the most amazing opportunity. Check this out. Nutella is life in our house. So you're not double dipping. You're just, one and done. Divine. If you need more than Nutella on a day like today, then have somebody send you some whipped cream like this. And you are just gonna make an even more divine turtle-like pecan. Okay, so it's really cooking down. It's looking really nice. We've still got that nice pink color. Apparently, if you use the hibiscus flowers, which who in God knows where has, it would be pinker. But I think this is lovely and natural. Hi, so we're just keeping it wild here because the boys have all left me. They're outside at about 10:18, all on the trampoline. So I'm just gonna try my hand, no pun intended, at being a videographer. And I'm just gonna try to cook at the same time. So this is what happens when you melt butter. It gets real foamy, okay, for the first couple minutes. You don't want it to burn. As soon as it starts to look a little bit brown, then we're gonna turn it off, and it happens real fast. This is about a minute and a half later. A lot of that foam is going away, and it's gonna start to get a little bit thinner. Pretty soon, now that it gets clear, you can start to see the color. Make sure it's not burning. Super hot right now. It's really exciting. At this point, it's really boiling now. And you can see all those bubbles. I really don't know what's happening with the physics of this, but just be curious. Life is really, really short, and so it's good to take time and look at butter. You'll start to see it first get brown around the edges. We're getting there. Meanwhile, in rhubarb land, this is looking good. This jam has really cooked down, and we're almost done with that step. Now look and listen. You can see that stuff there on the side. It's really starting to get brown. If you can see, there we go. Look at that. We don't want it much darker than that. That's a nice little caramel color there. So there we go. See, it's almost burned, but it's not. So we're gonna put that in a heat-proof bowl. It's a nice color, browned butter. It's gonna give it a nice caramel flavor. Just a few technical difficulties just trying to get those boys off the trampoline in nighttime. One thing I want to tell you, after your beautiful jam comes together like this, make sure you take out that vanilla pod. But all the goodness is in there. I can see all those little specks of flavor. So now we're gonna put the dry ingredients together. This is so like the fun part for me. I don't know why. Like you're either a wet person or a dry person, ingredient person. I like dry. As you can see, we've got our nuts here. We've nicely coarsely chopped them. We've got our butter. It's really caramelly. And then we, oh my goodness, somebody, I'm telling you, every darn episode they put something back there that's not supposed to be there. Entertainment around here. Okay, so we're just gonna dump in all of the dry. Here we go. The oats, the flour, the nuts. Got some brown sugar, a little bit of salt that we don't ever measure. You're gonna whisk that baby up. You could also use your whisker. The wine talking, I'm telling you. So I have an aunt. She lived in Alaska for a long time. She herself is just an amazing baker. And she says the best way to mix things is with your hands. And I tend to agree with that. God gave us these hands for, you know, some pretty good reasons. I mean, it's like the best tool ever when you think about it. I mean, check it out. Like whisk, whisk, whisk. Now what we're gonna do, and this is the fun part, it's all fun really, we are gonna start to dribble that in and mix it around, and we're gonna make the delicious bottom and top of the rhubarb bars. Check out that dark stuff. Don't be afraid of that. I mean, if it's black, I guess it's probably a little burned, but I think this is really where, you know, you take the risk and you say, this is the flavor. This is where the flavor's at. Check it out. We've got our our parchment paper, which already has some butter on it and butter under it. I never understand that, but we're done whisking. We're just mixing at this point. You can use your hands. It smells divine. Now we're gonna put about half of it in the bottom. We are gonna spread that out like you would, you know, any kind of bar. Okay, this looks good and messy. Now, check it out. We are gonna put in all the rhubarb jam. Now, it does say that this comes up on the side. So it says don't go all the way to the edges because it can burn a lot. Whatever. This is gonna be fine. Yes, it's probably gonna boil up a little bit, but okay, then we're gonna add the rest of the big chunks just because they like that, you know, texture. And then the final step, people, we're gonna put all the good stuff here. And this is what makes a bar a bar. Okay, we are going in. We are going in after all those steps. 350 oven for about 40 to 45 minutes. That's a long time. You can probably have a couple more glasses of wine. Okay, so here, now we're at the time of, you know, the show when things are in the oven and things kind of settle down and we don't do the dishes yet. The letter I got is from, oh, my friend Sally. She says, what a week it has been. Susan, what bars do you recommend just to kind of keep your sanity? And you know, I'm going to call the queen of bars herself, put her on speakerphone, and see what she has to say.
Hello.
This is the queen of bars. Hi, Mom. This is Susan. How are you?
Oh, good. How are you, dear?
I am doing just fine, thanks. You know, one of my letters came. It's my friend Sally, and she said it's been a really, really tough week. She said,
Yeah.
She said, what kind of bars do you recommend when you're just going to lose your mind? So what do you recommend, Mom?
Oh, you know, I'd have to go with magic bars. Yeah, do magic bars.
Magic bars. This is why they have lifelines in those shows, Mom. So thank you. I'm going to provide that recipe on my YouTube page. I don't know if you know how to get there, but that'll be fun, right?
Yeah, I'll have someone help me get there.
Okay, yeah, me too. And I'll see you tomorrow when we bake by Skype, okay?
Okay, bye.
Bye, Mom. So magic bars, we're going to post that recipe too. So here we are, friends. This is the rhubarb browned butter bar. And I told you I'm gluten-free, and this is not, but you could easily make it gluten-free. but it is so worth it. So I am gonna have a bite. Last time I was told it didn't seem like a cooking show because I didn't try the food. And you know what? That's because my cameraman had to run away. I must say, it is amazing. There are notes of the vanilla and definitely the citrus. I highly recommend, and the nuts just make it absolutely divine. All right, so that's all for Susan in Quarantine Kitchen this time. Just remember, hang in there and just do your best. We'll see you next time.